When John and Lois Bueno arrived in El Salvador in 1961, they never dreamed their work would one day touch an entire nation. Their short-term assignment stretched to 28 years. After pastoring Evangelistic Center in San Salvador for 9 years, the church only had 300 people. Then a breakthrough came, and it grew to more than 22,000 and planted more than 120 churches. Although it became one of the largest Assemblies of God churches in the world, John and Lois Bueno are probably remembered most for their ministry to children. One evening around midnight, while driving home from church, John saw a young boy selling newspapers. He thought it strange, for no one buys newspapers at midnight. He realized then that the boy couldn't go home until he had sold all his newspapers. John rolled down the window and asked the boy how many papers he had. The boy held up 3. John bought them all. John knew the street children needed to know Jesus Christ loved them, and they needed to escape the cycle of poverty. They needed an education.
He's, I would say, an intuitive type of a leader. In other words, he gets his direction not just from what's around him, but he gets direction from the Lord. He is truly a spiritual leader, and I've come to appreciate that about him.
John and Lois are a great inspiration to all of us, and just to think of all the work that they've done and the ministries they've founded is just incredible.
When the first Christian school was started in El Salvador in 1963, 81 students met in the church's basement, sitting on benches made from used lumber. Over the last 47 years, that makeshift school has grown into a system that has provided education for more than 1 million children. There are now 37 Christian school campuses with 900 Salvadoran faculty and staff.
I think the outstanding thing with John is he's such a pastoral person. Really cares about people, reaches out to people, and there's just a warmth there that goes way beyond the organizational leadership role that he has.
John seems to just go that extra mile in caring for that individual person. That is such a unique characteristic here that I think it just gets communicated to our whole missionary body, that here's a person who loves the missionaries, who cares for the person. And I've seen in so many occasions just Christ in and through John.
After serving as an area director and then regional director for Latin America and the Caribbean, John was elected World Missions Executive Director in 1997. During his leadership, he felt led to create distinct regions for Europe and Northern Asia. His decisions have proven beneficial to the spread of the gospel in those areas.
John leads by example, and his intentionality and deliberate focus on children have been a great influence in Europe as well, because John led the way over the past 13 years. Europe's Children has been started, and we have ministry in, I believe, about 9/10 of the 37 countries that we're involved in.
He never acted as a boss. He acted as an empowering pastor, allowing us a chance to dream dreams and strategize and sometimes say crazy things. And yet it brought the team together in a way that is remarkable to behold.
While serving as director, John revised the missionary approval process, allowing greater flexibility for people seeking missions appointment.
There were about 400 missionary associates. Today, there's nearly 700 missionary associates on the field. So that's just one of the examples of him using research and looking to the Lord to guide him.
John also felt led to recommend the first woman to the executive committee and appointed the first woman to the World Missions Board.
I admire and respect this wonderful man. I've learned so much about leadership just from watching the way he leads. He and Lois have become real friends to me, and I'm really going to miss them.
Patsy and I together have really enjoyed serving with both John and Lois. Lois, a wonderful lady, that has inspired us. She's been a wonderful leader to our ladies, a woman that has been a great partner to her husband in these many years of ministry.
During John's tenure as executive director, we've entered 34 new fields, and church membership has more than doubled throughout the world.
These are the years of some of the greatest growth in the history of Assemblies of God world missions, and I believe that we can trace a great deal of that to the leadership of John Bueno and to his faith and to his vision. He's a man who always believed God for great things.
We are very, very proud of what's happened, not only in El Salvador, but of course throughout all of Latin America, and the imprint of John's ministry and life will not soon be forgotten. I think he will be there, his imprint will be there forever.